All right, let's get into the James Beek connecting us to Dawson's Creek. We just had the Schitt's Creek. I knew a guy named Dawson. He went by the name Dirty D on the short. So that Dirty D and the D don't mean Dallas, that Dallas, that Department of War. These little flip-flops as a lip syncing session, and the Kid Rock and whatever is on that TP USA performing live. And it takes a second for things to slow down and for it to sync back up. But we're here, folks, and that colorectal cancer and that false prophet, as far as that taking one up the ass and going over that white throne judgment and the Uranus and being on that middle time frame from the TPUSA or the bell worship, ball worship, and you're actually on that chode, that chokehold, or that taint, that antichrist, and you're looking at that dark sun as you're coming eye to eye, that blue eye, that brown eye blue, and whatever else. So, the Kimberly is his wife, the Lee, the dragon. We've been tracking the king, the dragon, the devil's lettuce, that tree of life, the father time, Mother Earth, all coming together in one way, shape, or form. The Oval Office with the eclipse of this Elon Musk, and then now you got the oval-shaped penis with the X shapes, and these things being shown with Epstein. Small head, thick bottom. So this is all tying into that Nicki Minaj in a way. And Trump want to have his nails like her. And the Colorado, the recreational weed, they can either get rid of it in one way, or they can weed it out for that Sodom, for that new heaven and earth, and that Elon and all those things that got into in the past. But this is where they make it all the seed to cell tracking and the blockchain to the blockchain, and you take out one block by adding another block and moving people into the heaven and earth, and it's up to them and whatever else, and straight and narrow is the gates and all those things. So, and then straight and those things are all that narrow, and bald eagle and whatever else, and that bald Tipusa, the grass is on the field, play on it, that Kid Rock is talking about. That's also taken into your Sandlot. But this is where it tells you in Revelation that Babylon is lifted up in the fornication and whatever, and we've been shown these ages of consent upon the world, depending which country you're in. It's basically 13 and up. And then America has this 18 and up. And then now you have people who are 30 years, 40 years difference, who are married, which is technically some type of weird pedo activity. And that's where your Geppetto is coming, and your nose, and the nose and the nostrils and all that stuff is lining into the other stuff with the Genesis 2 stuff that I got into another video. But the James Beek, the Savannah, the Lion King, the African lion, the scar, the car, Elon Musk. Elon Musk could be the one who's doing the Don Nation, or the Don Nation did his own DNA and whatever else to create this nation made after he, them. And then either way, or you could have 12 sets of dudes. This is where you have like the tribes upon earth in one way, shape, or form, and the 13 families or 12 families we're told about, the 13th and the secret families, and the 13th disciple being Mary and the woman. And that's where the church teaches God as being all things, but he's a man, right? But no, he's the woman, if anything, because the woman is the one who gives life to the world through her womb, and the man is the serpent seed who has that sperm, because I've gotten into this before. The sperm is your spinal cord, basically, and it's coming in and going into an egg, into a position, a dark sun, to where it can start shining its light and those types of things. And we're all these individual lights and magnetics and whatever, collecting Christ consciousness our whole life or whatever. And when it's time to die, we hatch out and go into born again. Okay, so it's very simple. So simple, few of you shall find it, because your Jesus, your truth and grace, has been blinded and taken by Moses, it tells you, who brings the law and creates the veil. And that veil is being lifted now as you're taken into the three stooges. That three stooges. And that stew for that Hebrews Lee, and the stew for the stealing of the inheritance, for the red hair. And that red hair, that bad bunny, all that shit's all right now. Okay? All right, so these vans, the evangelists, and the kidnapping, the 18, they had the black van with that red stripe, the Jamaica, the red stripe beer, or the red strip beer. All these kinds of things can be playing out in a way to where that's why we want it made in America, and the aliens, the illegal aliens, are doing some type of subversion in one way, shape, or form on that side, but also the aliens within are doing this type of subversion on that kind of spectrum. So that's kind of where we're in this middle time frame, and a colliding of worlds and whatever else. But as the van and the jackal, all those things are lining up. The automatic AI killing machine, the drones, the 15-minute delay I've gotten into before with the Mars mission, way back in 2021, 2022 or whatever, for the second coming of the dawn. Now we're here, and all these things are playing out as all the things I've told you are under that lip syncing time frame. And the man with the pitcher of water and the framing of the water is already being set up in one way, shape, or form, as far as Trump over here, and it's being set up with Washington over here. And that's why they're telling you, well, if we prosecute everybody in Washington, we won't have a Washington anymore. So that tells you that when it's time to vote, and this is why Trump also wants to nationalize the voting, and all these things are working as those dividing lights, as I told you, as Newsom and Abbott and DeSatan, who stands on that Sunshine State, and the California, the Sun State, all these things are colliding as it has that purple sky, that purple, that Gus. So that Jim, that HIV, that sweat on the flux capacitor, all those things are playing out in your world as you're going to those James Vander Beek. That beak is the peak as you're hatching out of those eggs, and those oval egg nut shaped lemon balls of Epstein, you're being squeezed right now into your little mouth as you're taking little shots of tequila. All right, so as we're in this lip syncing time frame with the Savannah and the James Vander Beek and some other vans that's been playing out, this is when the elevation of these people start to hear some ringing in the ears, and they either rise up higher or lower. And the Kimberly is also connecting to your James Vander Beek. Your Kimberly is connecting to your Kim Kardashian being connected to your Bruce Banner and being a high-level spy, escort, whatever service thing or whatever. And the blackmail situation, that's where you had her put the blackmail thing and saying that she wasn't basically fucking around while she's fucking around. So that kind of thing. And then Kim Jong-un just did his daughter's lights. So these are some things that we're all tracking as he's the Rocket Man and the Little Rocket Man. And that can also be tying into Bruce, where he went from trans to, or was this thing, and then now he's that thing. And that's part also tied to the Wonder Woman. And then Wonder Woman also says, don't forget I'm Latino also. So that Latino and that teen, the Carter and all those things going back into your Blue Lagoon and your Brook Shields and this Lord God, the Sun and the Shields, and those things lying out as it's probably a dude, a boy, and that's how they got away with these kinds of things. And y'all just bought it hook, line, and sinker, and they said, well, shit, this is going so well, we just got to keep you a woman or whatever kind of thing. But oh man, Vanderbeek and the red van and the nativity scene, that Yeshua, his wife, and the pilgrims and the Indians and those types of things playing out. So either way, folks, we're going to hear